Okay, so this video is going to show on why, one, I don't like this video, which is why I disliked it. I commented on it, and it says the last of the troll picks. So let's just show you the video.
What's up, guys? I'm BTC. We've gotten several reworks that took formerly troll pick characters and made them viable, but there still remains one character that's still in that troll pick status.
So I'm already not liking this considering how he's already
Couple quick things. Some of you may have noticed when you try to watch a new video, you get a screen that says this video is private. It's a bug. It's not just my channel. It's all over YouTube. There's nothing I can do. Hopefully it gets fixed soon. In the meantime, if you see that, just try refreshing or come back in like 5 or 10 minutes and it should be resolved. The other thing is the sub box issue is getting really bad again. So just because you're subscribed to my channel doesn't mean my videos are going to show up in your sub box. You have to turn on notifications by hitting the bell and setting it to all. Otherwise, my videos might not show up in your sub box. Now with that out of the way, let's get to Overwatch and talk about some troll pick characters. There have been a lot since the game was released. Now, just because a character can be a troll pick doesn't mean it was always terrible or that the person who was playing it was trolling or trying to throw the match. But there are certain characters that have always been synonymous with the troll pick. Hanzo, Junkrat, Bastion, Symmetra, Torbjorn, and Sombra when she...
Okay, so like, that is like somewhat true because Hanzo, with a few... Because like some... Back then, it was really easy to land arrows. Like, it was 75% bigger, I believe, from now, so it was, like, pretty easy, but, like, still considered troll pick, because, like, don't know why. Junkrat, it was, like, he was, like, somewhat just there, same with Bastion, same with anything else he listed. Like, none of them were, except for, like, Sombra, because back then, it was less ability reliant, unlike nowadays. So, like, Summer was somewhat useless during those times, because his main priority was to stop people from using their abilities, which is more important nowadays than it was, like, a couple years ago, or in 2016 and early 2017.
It was released as well. Now, if you're relatively new to the game, you might be looking at that list and saying, whoa, Junkrat and Hanzo are troll picks? Yes, when the game came out, they were both unbelievably bad. They were almost completely used as troll pick characters. Very few people actually tried to use them seriously. But then Junkrat got a bunch of buffs, and he became a very strong and viable pick in many circumstances. He still gets countered, and he's not useful all the time, but he's definitely a strong and viable character now. Hanzo got a rework. He went from one of the worst DPS in the game to all of a sudden he is now the best mid-range character in the entire game. Sombra recently got a rework that took her from being a difficult to use, rarely viable hero to something that's actually pretty strong, at least in the upper bracket. Not so much in the lower bracket because she still requires a lot of team coordination and communication in order to be effective, but she definitely is way stronger than she was before.
That is true. I can't agree with him on that.
Torbjorn is now 100 times stronger than he was before his rework. And Symmetra, well, she had one rework that was a bit of a failure. She still was really niche, still really bad. After her second rework, she's better, but she's still not all that great. I think the new Symmetra 3.0 still needs some changes, still needs some buffs in order to make her a little bit better and more viable. But I don't think she's fully a troll pick anymore. There's really only one character in the game after the Torbjorn rework that is still going to be considered a troll pick, and that's Bastion.
Alright, so here I can, like, he's mentioning how all the quote-unquote troll picks got reworks, like, with Symmetra, but, like, Bastion was the first of the troll picks to get a rework in the first place, so, like, and back then, he was the starting DPS after that rework with a 35% damage reduction. Granted, after a few months, like I'd say 2 or 3, it did go down to 20, or like I think it was more than 3 months. I don't know. I didn't know when. Most likely season 5. But like during that time, he was one of the best. And like same with like Hanzo, he was one of the best. And then Junkrat, and not necessarily Sim, but possibly Torbjorn once he comes out of once he goes live If he's alive. So yeah, like, we don't know for Torbjorn yet. He's not, like, haven't fully been established. But, like, after the reworks of Hanzo and Junkrat, they were broken AF. And same with Bastion. Like, I don't think you can really consider him a troll pick if it's, like, just from the reworks. Like, granted, this isn't much relevance, but, like, I don't know, I feel like pointing it out. The fact that he was the first to get, like, a major buff off out of the troll picks.
If you take a look at the hero pick rates, Bastion is pretty much at the bottom across the board. PC, Xbox, PS4, Bronze through GM, pretty much every single place you look, Bastion is at the bottom or at least pretty close to it. And it's only going to get worse once Torbjorn's rework hits the competitive ladder in about a week and a half.
Alright, so he's mentioned how like all the he picked less, so that means wow, he picked less, that means he must be bad. No, incorrect. He's not a bad hero. He is not. People just don't like playing him. People think that like Bastion's unfun to play as or play against, so people don't really play him as. People think he's a no skill, so even though he is, every hero in this game takes skill. Just Bastion doesn't require. I wouldn't say he requires the best mechanical skill, but he does require a pretty good amount of thinking and game sense of where the enemy is. Like if you don't make sure of like where Sombra is, then bam, you're gonna get hacked, and then you're gonna get focused. You're dead. Or if you're not, or if you're like, or if you're in a corner and you know, and the enemy team knows that, then you're gonna die if you don't move out there. So like, I think he doesn't require the most amount of mechanical skills, because like his abilities are incredibly easy to use. But like overall, he still requires a good amount of skill. At least in positioning and game sense wise. That's in my opinion.
The reason is because his ultimate, the Molten Core with the lava, is so unbelievably powerful at dealing with an entrenched Bastion. All of this comes from the fact that Bastion's design is very problematic. His issues are very similar to that of what we had with Torbjorn prior to his rework. He's a very stationary character, he's pretty much single purpose, and he also requires a lot of support from the team. You have to have barriers, you have to have dedicated healer, all this sort of stuff. Not every...
That is actually one of the biggest misconceptions I see in at least my games and in Colorblind games where I watch your streams. Seems like, if you see like Colorblind, or even me in some cases, where I'm not playing with that shield, I'm like in the far back. Like hang on. Just like if I'm on the payload, then I'm just like I'm everywhere. I'm not on the payload, mostly because I know if I do that, then I'm most likely gonna die. So like me, Bastion only needing shields is a big misconception. He's not only viable in without shields. Like you could even do things like this, where like your half of your hitbox is basically covered, but yeah, you still have great line of sight. Like right here, or like you're going over here on the high ground with the Paul. You can position up here, and while your team is going through this entire lines right here, you can be positioned right here. So while they focus on you, and your teammates gets like free death and stuff, like because they're focusing on you, they can't shoot your teammates. Like you're still supporting them. Like, and if you're shooting like right here, you could be missing all your shots, but you're keeping everybody like right here in this small area where like your Reinhardt, Lucio, Bash, other here, Zarya, or like goats to just destroy in this area. Well, because like you're dealing suppressive fire, they don't want to go there, especially knowing that they could get obliterated. Like you know, they could go like right here, but it's pretty likely that they could die if it's like a 200 health hero, depending on how good your aim is. So like. Yeah, like Bastion, like if my teammates, then normally you're not, I wouldn't say you're gonna play a flank a 100% flank bastion, like, cause he's pretty loud, it's pretty easy to detect him, but like, you know, like, majority of my hitbox is covered up by this. Yeah, I basically have the same sight line as like right here. I'm just decreasing my hitbox.
Every character in Overwatch needs mobility, but with Bastion, it's taken to the extreme. Not only does he not have mobility, he literally has to sit in one spot in order to be effective. Now, if you have the
That is also incorrect. Oh wow, I really should like, I messed up in the custom games, oh well. But like, if I have my ulti right here, I would just be like, rocket jumping all the way up there, and like, I would be like, jumping up here and stuff like that. Bastion has mobility when he has tank ultimate, which is like one of the best parts about it, which is like which is why I think he's like a pretty mobile hero, at least when he has his ult. And like, him only needing a shield is still wrong. Like, he is good with the shield. It's like, I think it's his best form, but it's not his only form. So you're also wrong there.
Barriers and healing and all that stuff to back you up, then it can be quite powerful as a defensive mechanism or even offensive in the pirate ship for the payload maps, but generally that's only effective in the lower brackets, where there's a lot less team coordination and people maybe...
Then how about you don't run freaking pirate ship? I need to change this. I'm gonna change the map here. Alright, what? Dorado, yeah. Heroes, Bastion, fucking... Like, if you're saying he's only gonna pirate ship, then why don't you just not play pirate ship in that way? Alright, shoot. So instead of like actually just going to do pirate ship, then how about while your teammates go onto the payload and you're going along with it? Like, so you're right here. The enemy team knows where you are. Like, they're just asking for a Winston dealer to flank you right there. They're just asking for it. Like, but if you're like right here in the backlands, with this side, the majority, like I say like back out right here because of his hitbox, like, then you can shred their shield, deal suppressive fire onto their backlines, and like along with tank ultimate, you won't just be like rocket jumping everywhere. Like I believe you can, yeah, you can even jump here and just like bang bang. Like, he is not immobile. I went here faster than, from this to this, faster than a tracer did, having to go up there. Bastion is a mobile hero, like, at least when he has his ult. But that's the thing, he is made to be immobile, like with high DPS, low mobility. That's how he was built, and that's how he should stay as. Like, bang, like that's how it should be. High damage, high DPS, and low mobility.
Don't have as good mechanical skills in order to deal with that entrenched Bastion. But in the upper...
That is like so much true. If you're like in bronze or silver, then dealing with a Bastion could be pretty difficult. Mostly because like strength shield, you don't have much mechanical skills, and like, yeah, that's fine then. But at the same time, the Bastion also doesn't have that either, so... Oh, I messed up.
Thing.
Or was he? Right here.
But in the upper bracket, Bastion's just kind of a joke. Even the payload pirate ship stuff doesn't really work anymore.
Once again, this is a great example from like Colorblind. She is a top 500, his Bastion main. Like, if the payload's right here, then she's gonna be like somewhere around here in the back lines, like maybe corner peak, or like right here, and stuff like that. Like, dealing fire up here, and at the same time moving around with her rocket jumping, or that was a bad example, but like yeah, like that. Like, You just be rocket jumping all day. I suck at rocket jumping. I need to practice that. That's a bug, like where it just stays at max bloom. Oh well, it's not game breaking.
And when the Torbjorn rework goes to ladder, it'll be completely ineffective because Torbjorn is just going to completely shut it down. So Bastion is in this really weird spot where he can sometimes be too powerful, but at the same time, he's just completely garbage. All of the other troll pick characters have gotten buffs or reworks that bring them up to some level of viability or even make them quite strong.
That is literally what happened a year ago when Bastion got the rework. You're saying all troll picks got a rework. That is exactly what happened to Bastion last year in 2017 of February, I believe. Literally, he got a rework, and now he's viable. Like, he's more fun to play as. He's like, still pretty hard to deal against, but like, at the same time easy if you know what you're trying to do. But like, he was the first of the troll picks to get a rework. What are you saying? All of them got a rework except for Bastion. He was the first one.
Back in the day, you would never hear someone say, hey, can we get a Hanzo? Can we get a Junkrat? You would never hear that. But now...
Actually, that is... It's true though, but rare. There are a few times, like, a long time ago, like, in early 2017, before the double concussion mine thing happened along with the buff, I was a pretty good Junkrat, and like, I did have people after that, so... I don't know, I want to point out, it's so false, it's to somewhat your statement, but at the same time
it's quite common to hear those sorts of things. Even now, you'll hear stuff like, can we get a Sombra? Can we get a Symmetra? And I'm pretty certain you're going to hear people saying, can we get a Torbjorn? Which is just something you would never ever hear before. And I think this effectively makes Bastion the last of the troll pick characters. And when I say troll pick, I'm referring to players having a generally negative opinion of the hero insofar as...
That's because people just hate Bastion. Some people just hate his playstyle of quote-unquote sitting in a turret and just shooting. This is Bastion, That is not Bastion. Like, yeah, you're in turret the majority of your game, but that's because it's one of his, if not his best form, maybe second, arguably second to tank mode. Like, you're shooting him, but at the same time you're moving around, you're thinking of where the enemy's gonna go, you're trying to that, you're going into tank and rocket jumping everywhere. I goddamn suck at rocket jumping. Like, that's it. Like, you're not really just sitting in a corner like what most people expect. If you're a Bastion and you're just sitting in the corner like on Temple of Anubis point B, or you're sitting on in attacker's side, you're sitting in the left corner, people will predict where you're gonna go. A D.Va, a Winston, a Genji, a Tracer is just gonna dive you, and you're gonna absolutely die and say, Bastion's a bad hero. Whereas, like, if you knew that, then why would you position in that area? You should have, like, probably positioned, like, so closer to, like, where that doorway is, maybe. Or anywhere else, except for knowing a place where you're gonna get dived. Like, this is different lore, and so most people don't really predict that as much. Like, it's still, why are you positioning a place knowing that you could get dived easily? Like, which is, I guess it's true for Bastion, but like if you're like positioned right here, and like you know that the enemy team is right here, you're also with your team on the payload, you're like, it's like coming right here, and you're knowing that the dive tank and the dive comp is right here, then like, and you're knowing they're gonna dive on the payload, then back up and like position like right here, or maybe like right here where they can't hit you, or at least they shouldn't be hitting you because you can't see them unless they're like over there. They shouldn't be hitting you. So like, you're just gonna kill those tanks because you deal so much damage. Like, you'll just blow those tanks to shreds. You'll make Winston literally slabs of meat.
It's going to be ineffective, or it's going to be a detriment to your team. Whereas the other character...
Alright, so like, detriment to your team, like, that's only if you're playing it badly. If you're one-tricking him, and you know that you're not doing well, then switch. don't one trick. I don't suggest one tricking. I don't one trick. Colorblind doesn't one trick, and like literally anybody else who plays Bastion shouldn't be one tricking because he is a pretty situational hero. But it's like knowing how to play those situations will make people able to play him pretty consistently.
There's Hanzo, Junkrat, Torbjorn, whatever. Like, you can pick them, they may not always be effective, but they're not going to be considered troll picks anymore. So if I were working at Blizzard, Bastion would absolutely be the next character on the list of significant changes for a rework. Because
he got that last year! It's good! It's good! Damage resistance! He needed some more self-sustain, which is what they did. He allowed mobility, he buffed the recon, it's good now. And then yeah, he buffed the recon, he allowed you self-heal while moving, like granted it's on a resource now, because that's like so you don't self-heal literally every single time you take one bit of damage. But like, he's good, he's fair, he's balanced.
Because the character is just really problematic, the lowest pick, almost never used, really niche in his effectiveness, and
that's because people think Bastion's boring. They think that just staying up in a corner somewhere, like, I don't know where you would set up in a corner in Attack, like, I'd say like right here maybe. Like, they think that just staying up in a corner right here is boring, so then they just don't want to play him. Except, that's not the only thing to Bastion. You can still use recon, rocket jump anywhere. Like, it's still... Okay, I can't do that. Ugh. Oh wow, I guess I could. Time to kill myself. Where's the cliff? Whoa. But like, either way.
When he is used, he's either unstoppable in the lower brackets or completely worthless in the upper brackets. So the changes that need to happen with this character are, you can't simply just give him his barrier back that he had way back.
That's true. That'll really make him overpowered and unkillable, basically.
In the day in beta. And you can't just increase his damage or increase his health or change the resistance and stuff like that. Because anything that you change to make him better in the upper bracket is going to make him that much stronger in the lower bracket. I've been thinking about what they could do to improve.
People in the lower bracket has less understanding of the overall game, and like in terms of, which is why Blizzard doesn't listen to low-ranked players. Like, I think I'm somewhat low-ranked. I believe I'm top 20 or 30 in the overall, in Diamond, is the top 30% of players. Like, it's not bad, it's not the worst, but it's still not good either. But like, people don't listen to Bronze because they think like, oh, this one hero is overpowered or this one hero is underpowered, because they're not playing that hero correctly. I wouldn't be a diva shooting a freaking Torpter from this range right here, or like a Tracer trying to act like a sniper, or have a Widowmaker or be in the front line. Like, I don't see that because they're playing that hero wrong then. I'm sorry, but like, if you're doing that like a diva, Tracer, or Widow, where you're in the front lines, then you're playing that hero wrong. Like, you shouldn't really be in the front lines with your tanks. Like, it's okay to be ahead, but away from the team, like, getting picked, and like, sure, that's fine, but you shouldn't be with tanks, like, basically ever. Like, yeah. And we should watch Blizzard doesn't listen to the lower ranked people, because they have less overall experience in the game. Blizzard listen to the high ranked player because they have a more understanding of the game. Which is, so like, yeah, it would be a nightmare, but which is why you should keep him as he is. Like, he's pretty balanced in mid ranks, low ranks, and in high ranks.
Improve the character, and I'm putting together a full rework video for Bastion with all of my ideas and changes. One thing that I think absolutely needs to be changed is his self-heal needs to be replaced. When Bastion is effective, he has a barrier and he has a pocket healer, so you have no use of that self-heal whatsoever. And if you don't have the barrier and pocket healer, then the self-heal just isn't good enough and you get completely destroyed. So it's either completely worthless or it's ineffective. In either case, it just needs... Alright.
So, it's absolutely worthless because, one, you have a shield, and like you're gonna have a dedicated pocket heal. That is not always what's gonna happen. Like now, where is it? Self repair. Here, he healed up to 75 health per second. Mercy, with a dedicated support, heals 60 per second. And if I look at Ana here, why is that there? Like if I go Ana, then you'll literally see Biotic Rifle. It does 75 healing per shot and shoots. Fire rate. One shot every 0.8 seconds. So it's like which is I can round that up to 1 shot per second basically. Which is still the same thing as Bastion. Like and like with the grenade equals 100 health per, which is an 100 shield. So like, but then if we look at like Lucio here, if we look at like Lucio here, we have Crossfade, I believe. He has 16.5 healing. That is less. So literally though, the only support, actual dedicated support that does less overall healing per second to one person is Zenyatta when he's transcending, and Ana and over just Ana in general, because 300 from Nano, now 75 per shot, and 100 from Biotic Grenade. But Mercy does 60 healing per second, not 70, and even if it was 70, it'd still be less than what it is now. Wait, hang on. Is it 60 or is it 50? Hang on. I'm pretty sure she heals like at 30 per second, if anything. So yeah, it does 50 per second, even less than what I thought it'd be. Which is like, his self healing is amazing. It gives him, it's better than over the majority of the support's abilities and primary and fires. Why get rid of it? And soldiers, I believe, is 60. I believe. There's no point in getting rid of it. Biotic field. 40.8 healing per second. It lasts for 5 seconds, so like, yeah, but I'm pretty sure Bastion's healing lasts longer than that, so like he's better than Soldier's healing also. Like maybe Sombra's, if it like for the lower time on a max health pack, then maybe it does see more healing. I don't know about that. I don't play enough Sombra.
Needs to go. So I'm curious what you guys think about a potential Bastion rework, and I'd like to hear some of your suggestions. So put those in.
People think that, like here, this is my comment. Read it like if you want. I'm not a fan of this video. Like I like the majority of his content, but I'm just not a fan of this video. Like Bastion needs to where it gives him rockets. Hear me out. When he's in the turret, if you have the ability that launches him into the air, and allowing him to reposition quickly without leaving sentry heal. Also no self-heal, even though it's his best version of self-sustain, better than some dedicated supports. Can't wait for the best rewards where it changes his ult into a normal ability. Alright, so if you want this to be a normal ability, you want him to be rocket jumping everywhere. Literally, he could go to almost any position basically. Okay, you know, if I can actually show it. Wait like 10 seconds for my ult to get back, and then go back to rocket jumping everywhere. Like, granted, I'm not a good example of this because I haven't mastered rocket jumping. But like, still, like, I can rocket jump into high ground with 2 shots. I believe I could rocket jump up there if I, you know, I was actually good at rocket jumping. But like, yeah, like, all the way back. Like there, he's all the way back. And like we're to fly around and shoot everybody. Which is why I don't think Bastion and Tank Ultimate in the cooldown should not happen at all. This is the exact same thing for the Bastion 3.0 concept. I'm Bastion and they really need to rework his voice. Voice time, sure, that's fine. I don't think it's gonna be really game breaking or it's gonna be a major buff. Like, Ganymede is just supposed to be like a small little pet. It's not supposed to be part of the killing machine. Ganymede in the lore is literally the one thing that's keeping him, or the major thing that's keeping him from going Red Bastion mode, where he's ready to kill everything. Because if you get enough damage and more mobility, you're better off using Soldier 76. Yeah, that's like somewhat true. But like, also, Bastion, like, they're saying, also, I've read these comments before earlier, they are also saying that they need to buff his recon, which, like, the recon is his weakest point. Like, it should be his weakest point, because your hitbox is as big as a tank, come on. It's as big as a Zarya, or a Hog. Why would you want that? Alright, and plus here, like, if you want on an in-depth thing on why his turret is like so much better than what's Carbine videos, she explains it better. Like, I don't think Recon could just destroy him as fast as I did with him. Like, that was under a second. Like, it's itchy. Like, before you say like, oh, like right here, Bastion's pretty bad. This is far away. Like, you're just like dead. Faster than what Soldier does unless he's using Helix Rocket. So literally, like, now here is when Bastion starts to become somewhat, Recon becomes better. But like, still, his hitbox is bigger, everything, his hitbox is bigger, he has less ammo, he's like, oh, where am I shooting? I was like, okay, here we go, time to die, okay, I'm reloading, I'm dead now because my hitbox is so big. But like, that is why it's overall just a better than turret. Like yeah, it's like slow here because, well, I mean that one was already low. But your hitbox is reduced, you have more ammo, you shoot so fast, so for like it kind of doesn't even matter. That was like 3 seconds, which is not bad. It's better than some DPS. And like, and the hitbox is behind you, which is, turret is overall better than Recon. Like, if you ever want to use Recon over turret, like, then do it when you're really far away. Like, do it when you're like around here or here. Like, when Recon's pretty accurate. I recommend you burst fire because like it has pretty tight spread, but like, you know, it's like still pretty good burst fire every now and again. Which is the same as Soldier though, but like, yeah. And, except also Bastion got a buff just recently, where like a couple months ago, where his Recon and turret got 50% less drop by damage. When the Recruit basically became a sniper. Yeah, it's like first Bastion's best form. He's able to be an immobile high DPS hero, which is what he is right now, which is what he's supposed to be. He is fine. So overall, thank you for me having this rant on why it's a dumb thing. Like, so hopefully this changes the person. Hopefully this changes the thing, and like, I'm stuttering. Stop stuttering, Aaron. Hopefully it changes your perception on why Bastion doesn't need a rework or a buff. He is perfectly fine as he is. And overall, if you really just want to become good at Bastion, don't ask for buffs or reworks. Just practice the hero and you'll get good enough.